Howdy, howdy. This is Legal Roundup. I'm your host, Tyler Davis. Today I have two of our very own attorneys from our office in Jackson, Mississippi. Joining me is Daryl Porter Jr. and Sean Chun. Daryl, can you tell us a bit about what you do and who you are as it pertains to Pepper and Odom Law Firm and Jackson, Mississippi Legislature?
Absolutely. My name is Daryl Porter Jr. I am a senior associate here at Pepper and Odom. I've been working here for about 5 years. I also serve in the state legislature. I represent Pike and Walthall counties. In my opinion, the best district in the state of Mississippi. I've been serving in the legislature for 5 years as well. So you can imagine the fun of getting ready to get my license to practice while simultaneously running for office. And so I'm happy to be here at Pepper and Odom again. I've been licensed here for 5 years, but I've actually worked here for about 7 years. And so I just kind of found my niche here at the law firm doing personal injury, and I've just grown accustomed to the environment here, and because of that, I've never left. And I plan on being here for many more years to come.
Great. That's great. It's great to have you here, Daryl.
Good to be here.
Sean, word is you're the new guy on the block. So in terms of law, at least, so can you tell us a bit about your history as far as, maybe as far as what drove you to choose the path of law and go to law school? And can you tell us who you are as a new lawyer in the field?
Yeah, so my name's Sean Chun. I'm born and raised here in Jackson, and I really chose to get into the law because I knew I wanted to help people, but I didn't know the best way to do that. And when it really started coming down to decision time, I just have memories brought back from when I was a kid. My dad always really pushed me to be a lawyer, whether it was I wanted to go to a friend's house, I'd have to give a whole oral argument about why I had to go or anything like that. And so I've been working here at Pepper and Odom. I was a clerk for about 2.5 years. I've now been here full time for about a week and a half. And just like Attorney Porter stated, it's a really homey environment, and the people here are like a family. And it's a very enjoyable workspace, and I've really enjoyed my time here.
Would you say that being, as far as working at Pepper and Odom, from your end, so the family aspect really helps, doesn't it?
It does for sure.
Keeps work easy and tolerable. What about you, Daryl? Yeah?
Oh no, 100%. The fact that we can laugh and kiki and kaka, we can be happy together, we can be sad together. Right. We can be frustrated together, but we come back and get the work done. It means a whole lot to me. And, just on a personal note, I am ecstatic to have Sean join the team. He is, I would tell any young lawyer that, Sean has done it the right way. I don't know if there's a wrong way to do it, but if there's a right way to do it, Sean has done it the right way. He's been with us, like he said, like 2.5 years. He is a fantastic writer. He had his first court appearance today. I'm sure, somewhere in this time frame, he'll tell you more about that without breaking any ethical rules. But it's really great to have him. I'm excited to have him. He was a fantastic law clerk, up until about a week and a half ago. Now he's becoming a fantastic attorney. And so I'm definitely enjoying the time that we've spent together over the last 2.5 years and watching him take the bar exam, pass the bar exam, get sworn into practice, and now actually having his first court appearance today. It's just been really exciting because it wasn't it wasn't too far back that I was doing the exact same thing. And, I was sitting in his chair and Pepper was sitting in my chair. And so, I kind of got off on a tangent there a little bit, but us being a family here means a whole lot to me. We're not uptight. We're not, running this place like a military base. But we're all family, and that means a lot. It makes the work easier. It makes the work more enjoyable, as well.
How long has it been that you've been a lawyer, Daryl? I don't think we've ever talked.
Yeah, so I've been practicing now, going on. I've been practicing 5 years. Next year will actually make 6 years that I've been practicing law here with Pepper and Odom. Well, really, I say with Pepper and Odom, but in general, I've been practicing law for 6 years.
6 years.
Going on 6 years.
And that's not on top of clerical work and stuff you did. No, and legislation.
I started in this firm doing blog posts, working on blogs. That's how I started in this firm. Matriculated to doing law clerk work, and then being an associate, being the only associate in the Mississippi firm, and now I've been dubbed the title senior associate. Simply not because I'm any smarter than our other two Mississippi associates, but because or really our Birmingham associates, but because I've been here longer. I've been here longer than all the associates in the firm. So, that's I mean, 5 years flies by really quick. I remember the first day that I met Pepper, and when I applied for the job of law clerk. And so I'll say 7 years have gone by really quick.
Man, for me, 7 years has went by really fast too, and 2 of them have been here.
Yeah.
So, but I will say that having the family oriented vibe definitely feels a lot better going to work, because I mean, I've worked at so many places that are just riddled with that military-esque feel, you know what I mean? Very corporate, which I know they do things differently in our Alabama branch a little, compared to how we do it here, but that's all right. Not everybody can be like us, right?
That's right. That's right.
Sean, what made you decide to pursue a career in law? As far as like, what gave you that want as far as like to pursue law school? And this is what I want to do. Like, what was that moment, that defining moment that made you just say, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Well, I don't know if I can say there was a defining moment, if I'm gonna be honest, because it was really just racking my brain in undergrad. I was choosing between 2-3 majors before I really was able to find something, and once again, it really goes back to I just kind of had it ingrained as a child that this is what my dad wanted me to be, and not saying he's the reason that I am, but I do think he was a very big part in the decision making.
Makes a lot of sense, kind of following in the family kind of footsteps to a degree.
Yeah, to a degree. I am first attorney in my family, but my dad is a bail bond, so he has a lot of knowledge in this field, in the legal field and all that.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So that's how you're able to cut your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I grew up in a military household for a period of time, in and out. My cousin was in the military. A few of my grandparents were in the military. So for a while, I thought I was going to go to the military.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I'm going to be a ranger. Nobody else in the family's been a ranger. I'm big enough. All I got to do is go to boot camp. And then, I got that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine, because you're here with us.
That's right.
We love you, Tyler. And I know you didn't ask for this, but I'll tell you. I don't know if your job description is IT, but we obviously utilize you a lot for a lot of IT stuff, and so. But we're also really grateful that you're here. I think you're an asset to the firm, and what you do, the marketing, the advertising, and the sub part of the sub job description of being the IT guy. Something goes wrong, let's go call Tyler. I don't think that's in his job description, but he's so graceful about it. He's just like, sure, I'll take a look for you.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, if you tell me to go change the paper towels in the restroom, I might.
He's a real graceful guy. Nobody's asked Tyler to change the paper towel, but I do know if somebody did, he wouldn't give any gripe. He wouldn't gripe about it at all. He's do it gracefully.
Absolutely. I mean, I love doing what I do for y'all, and it's a lot of fun. Just, I mean, even doing this stuff, it's a lot of fun for me. It's not, I mean, growing up doing IT was like, grandma calls you in the next room. It's like the DVR's not working. I just want to watch the news. And it's like, oh, the coaxial cable's been cut. What did you do? Oh, I was trimming my plant. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. It's just stuff like that I've just picked up over the years. And then, of course, I met Gene, who's, our webmaster, and he's taught me a lot too. But I went to school originally for film and graphic design, and that just kind of goes hand in hand.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of can't have one without the other. So for me, it wasn't more so a family thing, I guess, following in the footsteps, because my dad's a truck driver. And as much as I like to drive, I don't think I want to be driving on the road hauling stuff like that. But then again, I mean, his job is super dangerous compared to like your typical
Oh yeah.
shipping. He's hazmat, everything. So he ships stuff that's like bombs, chemicals, things like that, ammunition. But less about me, I guess. As far as the biggest challenges you face, Daryl, what do you think was the hardest thing you dealt with whenever you were in school? Whenever you were trying to figure out what you wanted to do, and then once you figured out what you wanted to do and you pursued law, what was the hardest part while you were in school, would you say?
The University of Mississippi in 2013, my mind was so far away from law school that I didn't fill out the first application. I hadn't filled out anything pertaining to the LSAT. I had studied for the LSAT, and the only thing I knew what the LSAT was really. I don't even know it at that point in time. And so, I knew during that time I kind of wanted to pursue some sort of career in politics. Now this goes back way to when I was in the 10th grade, but that was more so in the forefront of my mind than law was, practicing law was.
That makes sense.
And so I was trying to make decisions based off of what was at the forefront of my mind, which was let's do a political career. Sadly, a politician or a public servant, as I like to refer to those of us who do what's right by the people, there's not a lot of money in it. And so I won my first election on the city council in 2013. Same year I graduated from the University of Mississippi. And I remember going in the house, and after I won the election, and my dad said, "Okay, son, I'm really proud of you. I know you're going to do great things for the town summit, but you also need to go get a real job." And then it kind of just hit me. I was like, "Oh,
Is that really?
I actually got to do something." It's not because it's a salary. I love the town of Summit with everything in me. My hometown, stay there to this day, love it.
You got to love your hometown.
Hell yeah, they pay like $400 a month to sit on the city council. $400 a month. I think it's before taxes. And so, my dad saying, "You got to get a real job." I'm like, oh man. Well, then that thing that been lying in the back of my mind now has now moved itself to the forefront, because what else do I do? I don't know what else to do. I didn't do it. I wasn't an account major with science major, biology, none of that. And so medicine was out of it. Numbers, I hate math. Unless I'm counting my money. all that was out of the question. Oddly enough, I worked at a bank too until I transitioned into law school. So anyway, so yeah, you asked me what was the challenge. The hardest part is simply because my priorities, they were just a little bit out of whack. And then once I reached a certain priority, which is let me get into public service by serving as an elected official. Once I accomplished that, it was like, then my dad had to join me back into reality. Like, you got to get a real job because that ain't going to cut it, and which he's right. Even now, serving in the legislature. If I did not work here as an attorney, and all I did was state legislature, I would not be able to provide for me or my family, or it would be, no, I would not be able to provide for me and my family, because it's not a money making job. You do that,
Like you said, it's for the people.
Yeah, you do it for the people.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And Summit it's already so small down there.
That's right. We got like 1,200 people.
It is. It's so tight.
Yeah.
I love you'll blink it and miss it. It's actually really pretty charismatic little town. I've been down to Summit a lot in Macomb.
Yep. That's right.
My stepdad or stepfather is deceased, but his family lives down there.
Yep.
They own a bunch of the pine trees down there. A lot of that federal land.
Yep.
And every time we went out there, we'd go to the city around town and be looking at like antebellum style houses and stuff, and some of the steps out there. It's beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
If you take a second to go look around, it's actually it's
a beautiful place.
Beautiful little place. It's it's got some areas that may be unsavory to some, but I think everywhere is kind of like that. I mean, if you go to Puckett, you'll blink and miss it. The whole town is unsavory, and that's where I'm from. So it's I mean the school district is maybe 100 kids, maybe 200, 300 now. So I already know how that is, but that makes a lot of sense to me as far as like getting your priorities straight. Because whenever I was in school, I was kind of the same way with film. As I was DJing, I did that up until like 17. Because my mom was in real bad shape, and my dad, we didn't really talk a lot. The conversations we did have, every like parental like figure in my life was just like, when are you gonna do something else? You've done AC. I did AC and heat for 3 or 4 years right out of high school, and then I struggled with going to film school. I don't know about y'all, but I got kicked out the house as soon as I graduated. So it was pretty interesting, but at a point in time in 17, I was like, okay, am I just going to keep making $50 a night?
Yeah.
Or do I want to eat?
Wow, that's rough.
$50 a night.
You might as well be sitting on the city board.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people, Pepper keeps telling me, he's like, oh, you'll be an attorney before it's over with. I'm like, you going to take me out of this? You going to take me out of this, man? So that's cool. Sean, as far as as your biggest challenge, I mean, when you were in school, what would you say was the biggest challenge for you? Was it priorities, or was it more just like the do I chase tail, or do I pay attention to the bugs? Because for me, it was chase tail and don't pay attention to the.
Well, in a sense, that I guess could relate to priorities and having your priorities straight. For me, it was really time management.
Be careful, you got a girlfriend.
I know.
Yeah. Don't say anything.
No,
Me being your lawyer.
My priorities were more with time management issues I had, especially when it came to law school. Because I do believe anyone could do law school if you really bear down and take the time to really hone into the books or the readings or just whatever you need. And I really struggled for that early on, especially with being a big NFL fan. It was really hard trying to balance watching a football game and, man, I really need to be doing my homework. Or big Ole Miss fan as well. I had to cut out game days in Oxford my first year. Otherwise, I just wasn't going to be able to get that work done. So it was really just bearing down and realizing, man, this stinks. I really don't want to do it. But if you don't, the results just won't be there.
Oh, dude, that's rough. I know what it's like not going to an Ole Miss game. And that's so a fan, if you didn't know. Yeah, we bleed red and blue here. And then you go, it's right there.
Like the whole office.
Yeah.
Except for maybe about one person.
Maybe one person. It sucks because I'm getting married to a state fan.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude.
Just don't ring a cowbell and you'll be all right.
That's right. That's right. I'll be fine. I don't think she'll be able to convert me. I've been all the way through from Rebels to Sharks to Bears.
If you can hang in there through all of that diversity, you're gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right. I think so. Man, what else is interesting about school? I mean, maybe it's a good topic for you two to discuss in between. So Daryl, when was it that you were in school? You said it was 13, 14? Is that?
He's trying to date me. Like, you trying to put my age out there? No.
Bro, you ain't much older than me.
Yeah. So undergrad between 2009, fall 2009, spring 2013. Law school, fall 2015, spring 2018.
Okay.
And so
You think Sean, do you think it's probably much different than what Daryl experienced when he was in law school?
Man,
I mean,
that's a great question. I would think so, especially with just thinking off the top of my head just how some laws have changed. I mean, I had people in my constitutional in our constitutional law class. I mean, there were classes changing every semester. So I believe there has to be some changes in there between my time and Daryl's.
what do you what was it like whenever you were there? What did it seem? I know that probably a lot of stuff has changed since COVID and all that. Were they still like putting a lot of that stuff in place at school or in college?
Yeah. So when I first started, it definitely was because I started law school in 21. And so we had restricted seats, assigned seats with it, with the masks every day, of course. And I believe even the year before me, they had select days they were allowed to come to campus to try and space everything out.
I mean, makes a lot of sense. I'm sure it wasn't anything like that when you were in, Daryl.
COVID new for everybody. He was finding assigned seats at the law school. I was over at the legislature, zooming into the legislative session. My first session ever as a state representative. We were trying to maneuver COVID as well. I remember my first session like it was yesterday. 2 tornadoes had come through my district. COVID was present, and here I am, a young freshman legislator trying to do what's best for my people, while also trying to get my footing in practicing law. New attorney.
That's right.
And so, very, very interesting time. I won't say difficult, but very interesting. A session that would typically have lasted 4 months, lasted 8 months. And just trying to figure out how to maneuver, not only in the state legislature, but also maneuver at the office as well, because I think we were actually in the middle of transitioning from one office building to another office building. And so, those were very interesting times. I'm grateful that we're so blessed to have made it through it, and become where we are now, and we continue to grow, and we continue progress here at this law firm. And so, I'm proud of that, proud of the strides we've made and the ones we continue to make.
I feel like a lot of people either thrived or really, really sank during that period of time.
That's right.
A lot of people, I feel like, in school really hurt the most out of people that I guess weren't surviving, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was in the thick of it, like working at a game store. It was like zombies. People come in because we had the door shut. They're like, please let us in and trade our games.
Yeah.
People were, and it was because they frequently came there. That's how they make their money.
That's
A lot of them were boosters, So it's amazing that there's hardly any growth in certain businesses at all.
Yeah. Hey, listen, in the law field, particularly personal injury, I mean, you could you can see the effects of COVID in our business as well, because we sat on the fourth floor of the Briarwood building, and when the work at home, stay at home stuff went out, you could see the Briarwood building. My office faced I-55, and the amount of vehicles you saw on the road. I was still coming to the office. Most of the staff will work at home, so I feel like, well, if they're at home, I ain't coming to the office because I'm more productive inside the office than I am at home. That makes sense. And so when you look out the window, you see like 3 or 4 cars going down the highway south 55, maybe 2 going up the highway north 55. Whereas if you go out there now, you can't keep up, you can't count them. I could count them. That's right. And so as translate that into our world, the less people on the road, less people traveling, the less car wrecks that are happening.
And that makes sense. Yeah, less car wrecks, less
car wrecks that are happening, the less amount of cases that we're bringing in, and that's across the board. Pepper and Odom, and any other PI firms in the state of Mississippi, and so that you could tell the lull, I'll call it. It was a lull in cases, and you couldn't tell right away. Now, during this time, I'm actively working cases that we have, but these are cases that we already have in inventory. And so give it about 6 months, maybe 6 to 8 months later, you see that lull when you taking these cases that you've been working right this time, because you had a lot of time on your hands to work on them. That's right. Because you didn't have anything new coming in. Mm-hmm. And so when they start settling, or they start settling and matriculating out, and you start hitting this period where the inventory is low. And the inventory is low because you went through that period where people they were on the road, they were not driving. They were not driving, they were not having accidents, they wouldn't have accidents, they had no need for a personal injury or term.
That makes a lot of sense.
But we survived.
That's right. That's
That's the point, is that despite that, we did survive, whereas some businesses, whether it be an attorney's office, whether it be a food establishment, whether it be some type of retail store, did not. And so I'm grateful that we did.
Me too. I know a lot of small businesses in Jackson's really bit the bullet around 21. They really saw some pretty struggling times. But I guess to break away from the COVID talk, I don't want to stay on too long. But my next question is more for people that are interested in getting into law. Next set of questions, I should say. Daryl, as far as
Sean said he wants to talk.
You did not. I can ask Sean a question. How well do you think law school really prepares you for the real world?
Oh, Sean, that is a fantastic. I'll take it back. No,
You both can answer the question.
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah. So, first off, I want to say I think we had wonderful professors and everything, and I think
that was great.
Yes, Mississippi College School of Law, great school. But with that being said, law school can only teach you so much. And it's not the faculty's fault. It is no teacher's fault. It is no one's fault at all in that sense, as you've just got 3 years to work with. And they can't really teach you every bit of the practical aspect of law. And once again, no dig on any teachers or anything, but I do think I learned a whole lot more when it comes to practicality of law by going out and interning or working with a firm or anything like that than you would in a classroom, for sure.
What firm did you work for?
Pepper and Odom.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
You got to plug it. For you,
Yeah.
what was it like for you, Daryl? Do you know?
No, I can't help but agree with everything he said. I think that's a great question, and for anyone that's considering law school, it is my opinion. I get younger people that come up to me, or I say come up to me, they pull me to the side and they want to talk about law school and practicing law, and I I'm very blunt. I'm very honest about it. And I tell them, like, if you're not serious about going to law school, if you're not serious about becoming an attorney, then don't do it. Because it'll be a waste of your time and a waste of your money, or it'll be a waste of your time and a waste of your parents' money. And so this is something that you gotta want to do. This is something, you gotta want to do it. You gotta want to, you gotta have the drive to do it, because it changes your mode of thinking. It changes your outlook on different things. It changes a lot about you as a person. Your study habits are not the same as it was going through undergrad and transitioning into law school. It changes patience. It changes, I would like to say even temperament. It changes priorities, definitely. Sean spoke about it earlier, and some of the same struggles I succumbed to some of mine. I'd been to just about every Ole Miss home game you could think of. And first year of law school, well, I didn't think it should be any different. And I was going to just about every Ole Miss home game that they had, with the exception of one. But I could also show you a grade in one of my classes that will reflect me going to these home games as well. And so, again, this is something that you have to want, you have to have a drive for, you have to have a taste for, and you have to have that ambition for, because it's not for the faint of heart. It's different. It is different. Some people say medical school is the most difficult, what they call grad program, undergrad or doctor program. Mm-hmm. We only get dubbed doctors, although it's a Juris Doctorate, and that's fine. That's fine. But anyway, they say med school is, well, obviously I'm biased, but I beg different to say law school. If it's not top, it's definitely running a really close race to it, because it literally changes your mindset about things. We are literally trained to think a certain way that the average person does not. And I oftentimes see that when I'm having a conversation with someone who has not gone to law school. Doesn't matter if they're practicing, maybe they don't practice, they just got their Juris Doctorate. But when you have that, here's an even better example. At the state legislature, on the House floor, without knowing who's practicing and who's not, I can tell based off of the person at the well of the House and how they present a bill, how they respond to questions. I can tell automatically who's the attorney and who's not the attorney. It's so easy.
Probably like they're kind of like argumentative, or not authoritative.
Not in a way. Not even that, because you got some attorneys that are cool, calm, collected. We experienced that, and Sean will experience that.
Yeah.
You got some attorneys who are cool, calm, and collected. You met an attorney today, cool, calm, and collected. And I know the case I went against him on. Then you got some attorneys who are just like really the opposite of cool, calm, and collected. Just kind of like I don't want to say a bad word, but they're the opposite of cool, calm, and collected. Mm-hmm. And so, so that's not it. It's just the way how they answer questions. Even when questions are being asked. So when I'm going head to head with another attorney, I'm asking the questions and he's answering the questions. He knows why I'm asking the questions that I'm asking. Therefore, he's already mentally prepared. And I already know the answer that he's going to give, because he's an attorney.
That's right.
He's a smart attorney. So I think there is a difference. You have to distinguish between a smart attorney and a not so smart attorney. And so you've seen the differences between those who have been legally, those who their mind has been legally trained versus people who are not laypersons, what we call them. Even my own household, I get accused. You're not going to lawyer me. I get accused of that all the time. And it's not, and I will swear like I am not lawyering you. I just asked a simple question.
It's a hard change I've had to make with my friends.
When you're trying to get to the bottom of something, somebody makes a statement and you want to know, well, where'd you get that from?
Yeah, where'd you get your information?
Who, what, when, where, and why? which are questions that you're taught to ask about back in grade school. Who, what, when, where, and why. And now it becomes full circle in our practice. And so I'll stop talking. I'll go on forever.
Hey, that's all right.
I mean, there's a distinct difference in, you know, being trained in your mind, being prepared by law school, and not being. But as to your point that you were asking, and Sean answered it really, really good, is that the practical part of this is the practical part of it. That makes sense. Like, they can only do so much at the law school. Middle C Law has a great program. It's a wonderful school. I love it. But they can only do so much. It's not until you're put into that position to actually have to make those decisions, make those calls, and actually have to think it through practically in the real world.
Yes, like doing it. You actually got to do it.
Yeah, that you actually got to do it. That it makes sense. And let me say this: it's the practice of law.
That's right.
There's nobody's gonna be perfect at it. There's nobody gonna know every single thing about it. And so we feed off of each other. Okay, I mean, I've been practicing longer than Sean has.
Yeah.
But Sean has a wealth of knowledge I feed off of. There's been some times me and him, I sit down, me and him, let's discuss this because I want to know what his thoughts are.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't want to sit down and think, I'm right, Sean, you're wrong, don't care what you're going to say. Nope. I actually value his opinion. I value what he thinks because it's been certain instances, even when he was a law clerk, about a week and a half ago. As a law clerk, I value his opinion, and that has shifted the way I have actually done something on a case. Simply because I was like, he's giving his opinion, like he's right.
That's a good point.
I'm wrong. I'm not one of those guys that won't admit that he's wrong. He's right. I'm wrong. I didn't think about it that way.
And it takes a lot of mental clarity to make those kind
It
of calls,
does.
you know, because a lot of people, they get really high on their own, you know,
High horse. Yeah,
ego, right? And then they don't want to look at it from a perspective of someone else. I feel like that's pretty common as far as
Oh yeah.
that should be like a life like thing that you should just do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we live in a world full of trillions of people that share similar mindsets, but they might have like a gray area there, which is why you guys have jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like what we were talking about earlier.
You're a good man, Tyler.
That's right. That's right.
I told Tyler, I said, where the law is, you know, some parts of the law is black and white. It is what it is. But most of the law is gray. And people like those legislators down there, they make the law like that on purpose because it keeps people like me and you get a job because we think this is what it says. This is what, you know, we're going to argue that point. And the other side's like, no, this is what it says. We're going to argue it. And they're going to argue their point. And then at some point in time, we meet in the middle until somebody gets bold enough to say, well, let's appeal it all the way to the Supreme Court and let them interpret it, okay, what it says. And even then, sometimes they bring back, and it's still black and it's still gray. It's not black and white. And so, it's like,
You know, the Eric Andre meme where he's like this, and he's like, how could you say something so controversial yet so true?
so
I'm trying to cover as many more questions as I can. I know we're kind of running a little over time.
yeah, we can,
As far as, God, what should I ask you?
Tyler, I'm not mad. I realize you can edit and cut this. It's 6:42. I'm not mad if we wrap this.
Okay. My bad, guys.
No, you're good.
No rush.
I'm not telling you to wrap it up, but I ain't mad if you do.
As far as like somebody that is trying to get into it, from somebody that just came out of it, what advice would you give to someone that is thinking about going in? Maybe they're on the fence. You know, what do you wish that maybe you would have known before you walked into law school that maybe would have prepared you or gave you an answer as to what skill is worth developing most? Like what path do I even want to take? Do I want to do personal injury? Do I want to do criminal defense? You know, how do you even determine that as far as, you know, what would you tell someone, I guess? What advice would you give someone?
Well, trying to
before they go
give
in.
the advice I was not given, because growing up, every time you ask an attorney about law school, their response is, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
And me personally, I think you got to know yourself and know whether you can commit to something like that, because it is a lot, and it will be a very mentally taxing thing to do. It is not for the faint of heart, but if you believe you are strong-willed enough to bear down and get into it, then I say go for it. And as it comes to skills in law school to focus on, I would say that writing is probably going to be the biggest tool for someone in law school and for an attorney. And that's personally what I tried to focus on the most. It wasn't the only thing. I obviously tried to work on my oral advocacy skills. I joined the moot court board and was an exec for that, which actually today made me feel a lot more comfortable in a courtroom in front of a judge having that experience behind me. But mainly just know that it is going to be a lot, and if you want to do this, then you got to be really prepared for it.
As far as being prepared, though, how do you guys even do it? Because that's a lot. That's a lot to go into. Like, it's like med school too, But of course, you guys are probably in as long, I guess. But I know that it is stupid difficult. I mean, just being a person in general. I mean, when I was in film school, I worked a full-time job. I went to school, and I had tried to have a social life. So, like, I guess my question is, how do you manage the stress and the workload that law school gives you?
I would say don't be scared to take breaks. I did probably more than I should have. I think it turned out pretty well for me. But know yourself and know what kind of breaks you can afford yourself. You don't have to work around the clock 24/7, whether you have a professor telling you you're 1-0 year. If you even open up the Netflix app, you've already wasted too much time. Watch a show. You'll be all right with that.
You got to make time for yourself.
Yeah. And I guess this kind of is what my mindset was through it, is I kind of looked like law school as 2-a-days in football. And that, yes, it's going to be hell to go through, and it's not going to be fun. But you've got some buddies there with you. They're going through it too. Make it through it together, and it'll all be worth it in the end.
That sounds like it can be worth it to me, at least, if you can really figure out how to balance that. Because I know for a lot of kids, they don't make it through. And there's some people that we won't mention any names that have had to take it and have failed 12 times or more, or God knows how many times. So.
Are you talking about me? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I failed it once. I had to take it twice. Sean is such a rock star. He had to take it one time, and he passed one time. And that has to be a lot. But also, let me say this: nobody asks you what your law school, what your bar exam score is.
I don't even know my.
I can't. Well, I don't care what his bar. I have zero. I've not given it one thought about. Oh, I wonder what he made on the bar exam. I already knew Sean was capable, and I was more or less like, I hate you got to take this stupid test to determine whether or not you get your license, because he's capable.
That's right.
He proved that. Up until he passed the bar, he's more than capable of being a great attorney. And then I know some attorneys whose names I will not call. They're horrible attorneys.
And that's like the ASVAB.
Point blank, period. And so I don't think, I might get in, depending on who sees this, I might get in trouble by my position on the bar exam, but I don't think the bar exam is a good indicator whether or not you are a good attorney. I know really crappy attorneys, and I know some really great attorneys. I think before Sean ever passed the bar exam, he was already prepared to be a great attorney. There are some practical things that he has to learn and pick up on. But what person doesn't? What person doesn't? Again, this is the practice of law. I don't know everything. Pepper doesn't know everything. Odom doesn't know everything.
I mean,
the best attorney whoever you would consider the best attorney in the world does not know everything about your law. That's how to practice it. That's why it's called the practice of the law. It's because we're practicing, and not to be perfect at it, but practice law. Because I like to consider myself a damn good attorney. I think I do great by my clients, but I don't know everything. And I have zero problem saying I don't know everything. I'm not the guru. I'm not the end-all, be-all. There may be someone who knows something more than I do. I'm sure there is. And so we feed off of each other. It goes back to, why I'm grateful for this office and us having such a family-oriented environment amongst each other. Because Sean has a question. He knows he can come knock on that door. And it's very, I may say, wait a minute. If I'm finishing something, I don't think I've ever told him, can't help you. And same thing between me and Pepper, there was never a time that I could not say, hey, Pep, I don't understand something. Hey, Pep, can you help me with it? Even to this day, where he didn't say, okay, well, listen, think of it this way. Then, and so we get there. We get to where we need to, get the answers we need to, because we're family-oriented. I know I got friends that work in bigger firms. That's right. They never see a partner. They never talk to a partner. I got some friends that work in smaller firms. They never see the partner. They never get to talk to the partner. They don't have that type of, bond and that family environment in the law firm. And so that's why I believe that we're blessed to work here at Pepper and Odom, that we're blessed to have the type of environment that we have. It's laid back, it's cool, it's chill, but we get the work done.
And it's kind of doting in a way.
Yep.
Which is nice. But you don't get that anywhere.
That's right.
You really don't.
And so, this is the place I've worked at while having my license, but I've worked at several other places. I've done nonprofits. I've done state government. I've done criminal defense. Didn't like any of it. Really? Not really.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started working here at Brighton Blogs. I was doing nothing. I was writing blogs. What is negligence? Duty breach. All that stuff. For them to put it on the website.
I already know.
Just for y'all to,
I know now.
just for Todd to come in and scrap everything I did and say, oh, that was all right, but this is way better. And so, but now, as a result, I don't care. I'm senior associate.
You don't have to do it now.
Yeah, and I don't have to do that now. And so, I love this place. I love the people here. And I'm just really blessed to be here and be an associate, be a part of this family, be a part of this firm.
I guess we're about out of time, guys. I'm going to ask you a few, like 1 or 2 more questions for us to wrap up. So as far as the future, where do you see yourself in 5 years as far as, your career now that you're a week and a half in?
5 years.
Man, that is.
You will be where I am.
Yeah, I hope so. That is.
You have to give your own answer. I'm just thinking, man.
That is such
that's
a
amazing.
tough thing to
It is.
think about.
It is.
Considering all that's been on my mind for about 5 months is
That's
just
right.
been the bar exam.
Just get this out of the way.
I haven't really had time to, I guess, sit down and think about it. Other than obviously, I would really enjoy staying here. Great environment, great people.
Well, what's your goal? Like, do you got a goal in mind? Not yet? Just kind of trying to take it day by day right now?
That is mostly how I roll, is a day by day. And the bar exam's out. Now we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Oh, man.
I think that's why me and Sean get along so well, because it really is a day by day thing.
It is.
Like, I get it.
Mm.
When I was where he is now. I'm grateful that I've put all that stuff behind me. I've gone to law school. I've taken the LSAT. I've gone to law school. I've taken the bar. I passed the bar exam, and also I have a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't. He's not. A week and a half later, he ain't out here searching for a job, trying to figure out where am I going to work, where am I going. And he has a job. He has a family here that is invested in him while he was in law school, and As far as I'm concerned, family takes care of family, right?
That's right.
And so, he'll be taken care of. As long as he's here, he'll be taken care of. And so I think the answer he gave day by day. I think that's because that's what it is. That's what it was for me.
Be realistic.
Day by day, man. Day by day. So, that's a good answer.
Yeah, it was. It was. Well, y'all got any last thoughts for anybody that's looking to get into law school or, thinking about it? Do you guys got any last comments for anybody or any questions that, you might ask somebody else?
Well, other than the typical answer of don't do it, if you're going to do it, just be ready because it's not easy. It is not an easy thing to do. And you may have to tell your friends when you're home for Thanksgiving break that, hey, man, I got an exam. I know we hang out every time we come home, but I can't this time. You're going to have to make some sacrifices for it. So if you're going to do it, I'd just say be ready for that.
Cool. Yeah, and if anybody has any good questions, they can just leave them in the comments, right? Maybe we'll answer them next time.
Yeah.
What do you think, Derry? You got any last bit of advice, schools, or is
what he said? I could not. I can't give a better answer. Everything you go through, you watch this video. I'm going.
Yep.
That's exactly what I would. That's exactly what I would say. And just if I had to add anything, I actually think you said that too. But if I had to reiterate it, if you're gonna do it, know that you want to do it. Because if you're gonna go to law school and you want to do this, practice law, know that you want law. That you want to go to law school, know that you want to practice law, not. Oh, I think it may be fun or anything else to do.
You have passionate.
Yeah, you got to have a passion for doing this. And there's one thing we hadn't mentioned throughout this entire time, I think is definitely worth mentioning. Everybody likes to make money.
That's right, and that's the name of the game.
I mean, we do our job to help people that have been, injured, hurt, due to no fault of their own. And I'm not making a peach, kind of am, but, hurt or injured due to no fault of their own. And our job is to, one, try to help them get back to where they were prior to them getting hurt or injured, and two, putting some money in their pocket to help to also edge that on as well. And so everybody likes money in it.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, what's bad about helping people out and getting a reward for it? That's how I like to look at it.
That's right.
You're going to fight for somebody.
Not to mention we love what we do.
That's right.
And so if you love what you do it well.
That's right. And that's what they always said in film school is like, if you love it, you'll do it for free. And if you do it for free, you'll make a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself, then you make some money. But thank you guys for sitting in and answering a few of these questions. I'm sure some of them were a little disparaging, but it'll be all right. So next week we'll sit in and try to get something else done. But thanks, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Daryl, and thank you, Sean, for being on.
Absolutely. Sean, you would do really well if you did one by yourself too.